In talking about Tim Patrick today during the press conference, Dan Campbell had a lot of nice things to say. And I'd have to say I tend to agree with Dan Campbell that Tim Patrick is definitely making his presence known for the Detroit Lions on and off the field as well as in the locker room. Now, Allen Robinson and Tim Patrick were both brought into this team roughly around the same timeline, and they are the oldest receivers on the Detroit Lions roster currently. Now, the Lions having such good, solid veteran leadership is going to help the young players like Jamison Williams continue to evolve. It's going to also help Amon-Ra St. Brown to continue to get free, which is what the Lions are looking for, is giving players like that an opportunity to rest when needed and not have to be the only option in every single game when the Lions need to do more. So the two veteran pass catchers were brought onto the practice squad just before the season began. The season's about 5-6 weeks old now, and we haven't really seen a ton out of Allen Robinson yet, but Tim Patrick has been a very pleasant surprise. Both were signed to the active roster in late September. The Lions didn't want to screw around with this at all. They did not want to lose these guys to a potential suitor that they wanted to poach one or both of them away from the Lions roster. Now, in trying to replace Josh Reynolds, this was probably the best way the Lions have done it so far. DPJ just hasn't worked out, and Tim Patrick, coming off of a pretty crowded room in Denver, found his way in Detroit. So Dan Campbell, what did Dan Campbell say today that kind of tipped me off about doing this video? And why did I want to? Well, it's what Dan Campbell said. And this just means the world to me as a fan that, you know, these players come in and don't act like divas. These players don't come in and, you know, throw their weight around. And Dan Campbell kind of mentions that.
He gets better and better every week. And you know what? One of the things I love about Tim Patrick, and I put Allen Robinson in the same boat. I'm glad both of those guys are here, by the way, is they act like, just in the way that they handle their business, that they're still young players. And what I mean by that is, man, they give me the coaching. Well, how do you want it? What is this? What's the, you know, just give me all the little details to this. Tell me exactly how you want it. They're very coachable. Like, there's no, you know, I've played in this league 8 years, 10 years. I know what I'm doing. I don't need you. You know, there's no entitlement whatsoever. I mean, these guys just come in and work their rear off, and they want it. They help out across the board, not only for us, but also on the scout team. But to your point with Tim, yeah, I feel like he's gotten better and better every week. He brings a skill set that we need in that room that's different. And, man, there's a place for him here. And I know he's gaining the trust of us offensively, but also golf, you know. And, yes, you asked, like him and Lee, yeah, that the trust is getting there quickly.
This is exactly the type of players you want on your team, and it's exactly the reason why the Detroit Lions are successful right now. They have some good, solid depth that are also veterans that have been doing it for a long time that can help this team win. Now, Tim Patrick said after the Seattle game, he says, I know what I'm capable of, and I'm just going to keep taking it one day at a time and be thankful for this opportunity because they didn't have to sign me, but they did, and they're giving me an opportunity. So I'm going to make sure I get the best out of it. Great words, man. Great words of wisdom here. They didn't have to do anything. You were given an opportunity, and now you're going to pay it back by giving it the best you have. And, man, you've already done a great job. So let's highlight a little bit of his tape from Seattle, and I'm going to point out exactly why Tim Patrick is exactly what we needed. We needed that boundary guy. We needed the X receiver, the bigger body size. He's got a huge wingspan. He's short hands. I mean, the guy does not drop balls. But he also runs very smart routes. You know how often that we look at our receivers that they run a route and they don't make it to the sticks. We need a first down, but they're 2 yards shy or 1 yard shy. And it just doesn't make any sense. Or you see a route where they run, you know, an in route or breaking, you know, out route, whatever, and they end up behind the coverage as opposed to trying to stay in front of the coverage so they can be open. Yeah, well, Tim Patrick does that exact same thing. Gets open. And he gets open by running a correct route. So I want to highlight a few of those things right now. And we're going to start with the first catch, which was 23 yards in the third quarter here against Seattle. And I wanted to identify this play, just a smart play by Tim Patrick. So not only does he put himself into position to win on the route, but he puts himself in position for Jared Goff to be able to find him for that outlet, kind of the third or the fourth progression here, if you will, on the play. So anyway, here's Tim Patrick right here. Okay, he's going to break up on the route. He's going to start to break down around the 29, and then he's going to work his way over across the center of the defense. And what's nice about this route, and what you're going to notice, is the corner here, he is going to, take the back step on Tim Patrick, and then when Amon-Ra St. Brown gets up into here and makes contact, and he's going to start to break out, the corner decides at that point that he needs to kind of dip back and play this center part of the field, which then allows Tim Patrick to stay freed up here and working across the center of the defense on the linebackers. So here we go. Let's roll it. And then let's watch what Tim does after he catches the pass here. So ball is snapped right here. Tim Patrick breaks it down. The corner makes a decision to float. Tim catches the ball over the middle, and then bang, he makes this little move on what appears to be a linebacker, where a little bit of a stiff arm, works his way up to the sticks, gets the first down. I mean, just a smart, heady play by Tim Patrick. The next play that we're going to outline is his catch in the fourth quarter. Okay, so here we are with Tim Patrick's second catch. This was in the fourth quarter. I believe this one was 29 yards. And what you're going to notice is the attention that Jameson Williams gets on the play. So Jamo's going to kind of run this seam pattern, right, where he's going to kind of split these guys and pull the safeties over top away from Tim Patrick. Now, Tim Patrick is going to run a deep cross where he's going to get underneath and over top of the safeties in the corners. And the way that Jamo runs this pattern here, he's going to force the safeties over top to commit. And the corner that is currently on Tim Patrick, that is going to end up being his assignment as well to commit. So let's watch it unfold a little bit here, and then we'll come back. All right, so it's at this point that Jamo's made his move. Right, so Jamo started out going north-south, made a little step in. He's going to start targeting this safety. And his goal right now is he wants to pull this safety away from Tim Patrick on this corner down here. This corner, or this safety, I can't see who it is, he's also going to have to make a decision on which assignment is he going to pull right now. We'll let it go just a little bit. And, okay, so he bit down and he covered, which in a zone scheme, his zone right now is he's got to cover everything in front of him, which means Tim Patrick is going to be able to sink in. So this guy's got to cover everything right here, right? That's his zone. And this guy right here, he's going to have to cover everything from his left right here to his right down here. That is where his assignment is, which means Tim Patrick is now going to be able to slide right in between these guys. I think he catches the ball right about here. And Jamo is going to continue to pull these guys deep. So they're going to overcommit. All right, here we go. Ball's caught. Now you've got 1, 2, you got 6 guys right here. This is craziness. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You've got 6 guys on 3 receivers, or 2 receivers in Sam Laporta. So these 4 down here, again, this one, this one, this one, and this one are all playing the under. And they're taking care of everything that's underneath. The 2 safeties over top, or the corner and the safety that are over top, they were handling the deep ball. Now, Jamo obviously didn't go deep. Now he's looking for somebody to block. Tim Patrick caught the ball, and he's just going to continue to drive forward to get a few yards. So there you have it. There's the 2 plays from the Seattle game. And I hope what you noticed here is that Tim Patrick plays very smart, heady football. He runs the right route. He gets in the right spot. He makes plays after the catch, and he's putting this Lions team in a position to win. 23 and 29-yard catches don't happen every day. But for you to have 2 of them in the same game is absolutely incredible, coming from a Lions team where Jared Goff typically has 0 trust for these guys that come in without going through some sort of a training camp or, something, right? I mean, in off season, they've got to do something together. I mean, DPJ still hasn't caught on. And maybe that's more of a DPJ thing than it is a Jared Goff thing. But what I see right now is a good relationship starting. And from what I'm gathering here, that Tim Patrick may want to remain in Detroit for the foreseeable future, should things be able to work out through the end of the season. And Dan Campbell's not opposed to that, from what we're understanding here from some of the things that he said, that it looks like there could be a solid matchup here with Tim Patrick and the Detroit Lions for the foreseeable future, which I would absolutely welcome. I think that it's a great opportunity for not only Tim Patrick, but for the Detroit Lions to continue to grow this relationship and watch Jared Goff flourish with what will become a pretty high-profile weapon for Jared Goff. We've only seen the tip of the iceberg of Tim Patrick. And matter of fact, Dan Campbell had this to say: I feel like he's gotten better and better every week. He brings a skill set that we need in that room that's different. There's a place for him here. I know he's gaining the trust of us offensively, but also Goff. The trust is getting there quickly. Now, you've also listened to Dan Campbell because I brought in, the video and the audio for you to listen to, and it just sounds like Tim Patrick is doing everything right. And Allen Robinson's right behind him. Like there's nothing wrong with the way that Allen Robinson is developing right now. At any moment, you can stick him in the offense and he can have just as much success. It just depends on what the Lions are looking for each and every week and how these matchups, are kind of going hand in hand with what the defense presents and what our offense can do. So Allen Robinson's not too far behind, but Tim Patrick is the one that I'm expecting the Lions to get a longer-term deal done with, hopefully by the end of the season. But if it's not by the end of this season, they've got to get it done before free agency. We do not want Tim Patrick hitting the open market again because he will be gone. There are plenty of teams out there that could use his services, and I'm sure plenty of teams that were a little bit worried at his injury history. And Brad Holmes, known as the injury bin, diver, if you will, the trash bin diver. I forget what they're called. Dumpster divers. So the injury dumpster diver, I guess that's what Brad Holmes is to some people. He just brings in all these injured players and, tries to save money and give them a chance. Well, hey, it's working. And I'm glad that he gave this guy a chance because Tim Patrick has been everything so far that we hoped he would be. And I wish him nothing but continued success and health moving forward. Got to keep those legs healthy. And this weekend, go get yourself a touchdown, Tim. We'll see you in the end zone versus the Cowboys. All right, y'all, take care. Go in pride. Go Detroit Lions. Peace.